Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. So this morning, I'm going to take some time just briefly going over illegal immigration. Now, first and foremost, I want to give you guys some statistics about the amount of illegal immigrants that we have in our country. Now, this particular report is coming from Pew Research. They documented as of July of 2023, there were about 11.7 million illegal immigrants inside of the country, which is roughly around 3.3% of the country's total population. And they have other reports and statistics from other departments. The Center of Migration Studies of New York also states 11.7% as of September of last year. We know that these numbers are not as accurate because not all illegal immigrants have got counted, but some of these illegal immigrants by using predictive analysis of the amount of people that they either catch and release or those who've never been caught who are now inside of the country. So again, most people are touting the number 13 million illegal immigrants. So that is essentially the number of people that most people gear towards, is that 13 million illegal immigrants inside of America. And when the executive orders that Donald Trump signed that were pertaining to DEI, majority of people that I ran into that were non-Black people thought it was an attack on Black folk. Like, I don't like what Trump is doing with DEI. And I was like, I don't care. And they were saying, I said, well, Black people are not the largest recipients of DEI initiatives. And matter of fact, we're last on the list. So I want to take this morning because there has been a lot of quote unquote influencers who are supporting illegal immigrants, where I would like to believe that majority of foundational Black Americans, people who have been here for 5-6 generations, okay, not your first and second generation Black immigrants, but Black Americans who their grandfather, grandmother, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth have been in this country. So again, I wanted to kind of just show you guys some clips of our response, not from me essentially, but from other people that you guys may not be familiar with. They may not be popular, but here's some of their thoughts. Now, please excuse some of the profane language that may be used when some of these people are speaking. But nonetheless, I want you guys to listen in and hear the response of Black Americans.
On the patient's head, acting like it was cute and it was cool. That's how we knew that you weren't one of us. Cause my women don't become healthcare workers and rub their coochies on fucking patients' heads and shit and think that it's cute. That's not part of our fucking culture. And come to find out,
sis, why they leak your address and social security? So what on Twitter?
She's not even an American citizen.
I'm an immigrant. What the?
oh yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to point out, because I think a lot of times, because people who may look like Black Americans, they dress like us, they talk like us, they have some of the same mannerisms, because again, they've assimilated into our culture. So people who are non-Black believe that a lot of these people who are supporting illegal immigrants are traditional Black Americans, which this is not the case. A lot of these people are immigrants, okay? And I have a couple of more other video clips that I want you guys to see as well, because I just think it's important to set a precedence of how we do not agree with illegal immigration, and how I was stating that a lot of these people from all these different countries from around the world stated that they came to America seeking asylum and that they were refugees, fearing prosecution from their country's government, which was all untrue. They came here for economic asylum. And this lady right here, she kind of breaks it down how they are violating the law by visiting their own country, the same country they are fleeing from, stating they need asylum.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations. That's because thousands of those Cubans filed for political asylum and were granted political asylum, except they went back and visited their homeland of Cuba. Well, the big deal is that when you file for political asylum, you're declaring that your life is in danger in your home country. And by these Cubans going back to Cuba to visit, that means that the entire process of the political asylum was fraud. The application asked for political asylum seekers to give detail of why they can't go back to their country, why their lives are in danger in their homeland.
And that's the point that a lot of Americans are making, that they're not seeking asylum because they're fearing prosecution from their country. They're going home on vacation. They're absolutely going home on vacation. And a lot of people think that, you know, typical Black Americans are behind this debauchery of them seeking asylum. And this is absolutely false. This is absolutely false. We're absolutely against illegal immigration, okay? And I believe I have one more video for you guys. Give me 1 second as I cue this up. But nonetheless, I want to set a precedence. I want to set a foundation, because I think a lot of people get into the rhetoric that we are somehow behind this. And this is absolutely untrue. Okay, absolutely untrue. And this last one here, again, if there's any profanity, please excuse that. Okay, I don't really deal with profanity every now and again, but nonetheless, I want you guys to listen in on this as well.
Since y'all feel so bad for all of these people that illegally came into our country, go to another country illegally and see what happened to your ass.
But if you think that if my black went over to Mexico, you think they'll treat me like that? If I live next door to them and went to their country, you think they'll help me? Or do you think they'll help you? If you were an immigrant and went over into their country, do you think that they would do all for you that we do for them? No, they would not.
But they're all getting deported. Why should I care? Why? Why should I give a fuck? When it came down to it, it was like, no, me not black, me Dominican. Well, guess what? You about to go, buddy.
Hey, y'all illegals, y'all better run it high under a rock. Trump kicked y'all asses up out of our country, man. Y'all got to go. Boo boy.
Black Americans, stand down and mind your business, because if it was you, they turn your ass in. This is our country and it's not our business. Mind your business, Black Americans. This is not our problem and not our fight. That is the Post.
Why are y'all afraid to go back to your country? Isn't it literally your country? And isn't it your people? You know, the people that have so much solidarity, they brag about it to black people. I'm confused here.
I just want to know, if you guys are protesting to be American citizens, why are you guys waving Mexican flags? I just don't knock me down. But if you are protesting to be in America, why are you waving Mexican flags? You guys are opposite. Now, what if the ICE truck just pull up and say, oh, you guys get the fuck, get in now.
You know, y'all can't just be like saying all this stuff about us and then want us to just come to y'all rescue when y'all need us. You know what I'm saying? Negrito and all this stuff that y'all be, yeah, man. And y'all want me to have sympathy, man? Please, man. I done heard too much stuff and witnessed too much hatred. I'm gonna sit back.
All those people that was talking down on Black Americans, saying that they didn't have no power in this country, and the man this and the man that, and Wabo, Wakata, and Jareer, and all types of other slurs that y'all say towards us. Now y'all crying. Look who's crying now. Now everybody crying and y'all want us to get involved. We not getting involved. And don't ask the black women either, because they said they was on vacation. So I don't know what y'all gonna do. I don't know what to tell you, G.
It's not our fight. It's not our business. So stop inserting yourself. Go find something productive to do. Something that'll benefit you and the black community. Go touch some grass. Hell, go play in the snow. But this is not our fight. Y'all rest and relax. And if it doesn't involve us, stay out of it.
You don't fuck with us, we won't fuck with you. Public.
So again, not to play that entire video, but I think it was important, again, to really set a presence of how a lot of Black Americans feel. Yeah, you're going to have some Democratic shills that have dark melanated hue complexion that is going to be on the forefront. But even Mayor Adams, which we're going to get into here very, very soon, even Mayor Adams, okay, you know, basically bent the knee to Donald Trump. And it has paid off nonetheless. Anyone who usually aligns with Donald Trump, now he has a certain status, and in some regards, not that he has unlimited power, but he has great influence. It has paid off for Mayor Adams as well, but we're going to get into it. But I had to set that precedence because for some reason, a lot of people, not a lot of non-Black Americans thought that Black Americans was on board with illegal immigration. We are absolutely not. They think that a lot of Black Americans are on board with LGBTQ transgender laws infusing in our elementary schools and our women's sports. We're absolutely not. We have no discrimination against any demographic. LGBTQ, do what you please. You know, you want to self-identify as something, that's perfectly fine. There's no discrimination because there's people who are part of that community from every race and every demographic. So again, there's no discrimination or precedents or anything of that nature. But again, we must break these things down for the rest of the public to know. Okay. Now, I heard all sorts of people from different ethnics and different demographics even downplay Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, like, oh, Kendrick Lamar is not mainstream. Nobody really knew his songs. Nobody really knows him as an artist. Well, appreciate the art for what it is. And again, what did Americans want? Okay, because again, if we look at all the past Super Bowls and who have spotlighted, who's done the halftime shows, I know the year before last, I don't know who did it last year, but the year before last, I believe it was Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, and Eminem, who were kind of like the headliners of the Super Bowl altogether. But again, this was monumental. And believe it or not, I thought the Super Bowl halftime show was phenomenal. There was a lot of depiction of artistry, a lot of messaging within that. Again, this is what Americans want. Now, not all Americans want that, okay? But again, next year, you're going to see a different halftime show next year. I promise you. So everybody's going to get their feel. Everybody's going to complain about the next halftime show. You're going to have some people like myself who say, oh, it was a great halftime show. Then other people like, I didn't really understand it. I don't really like that type of music. Or I don't believe that was the right type of, rap artist. Maybe they should have had this person, etc. Is all subjective of what you like. Now, President Trump has announced a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports, a move that has prompted the European Union to prepare firm and proportionate countermeasures. The EU is considering targeting iconic American products such as bourbon, jeans, peanut butter, and motorcycles in response. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen emphasized the need to protect European businesses and consumers, stating that such tariffs are harmful to both sides. The EU's potential retaliatory measures aim to balance the scales in this escalating trade dispute. But again, Donald Trump has come in like a whirlwind, stating that America has never been dealt a fair hand. We've never been given a fair deal. So he is aimed to use tariffs in order for America to receive a fair deal. I think that's fair. Now, in the Middle East, tensions have risen. And again, I've been reporting on this for the past couple of days here of how this ceasefire is soon going to end because President Trump ultimatum demanding the release of Israeli hostages by Saturday. Hamas has dismissed these threats, emphasizing that the ceasefire agreement, which includes the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners, must be respected by both parties. Now, the group has accused Israel of violating the ceasefire terms, leading to delays in hostage release. The UN Security General Antonio Guterres has urged both sides to honor the ceasefire to prevent further tragedy. And that is what it seems is going to be. Hamas is not backing down, and we know that Israel never backs down. But again, I just wish that we take 1 trillion steps back when it comes to the ongoing conflict between Palestine, aka Gaza, and Hamas, as well as Israel. Again, there is some advisement and strategies that we can give out to both sides to garner or to extend the ceasefire and even get into talks to a peace treaty. Because again, we can get into the rhetoric of who occupying, who started this, who did the terrorist attack, who retaliated 10 times more. again, that is a very inflammatory conversation to have, a very, very long, lengthy debate, because again, you have to know the history and how it started, what lands belongs to who. Again, America, let's take 1 trillion steps back from this. And if anything, we may give strategy on how to extend the ceasefire, let alone garner a peace treaty deal. So again, that is where I stand with that, because Donald Trump has indicated that the United States may reconsider its aid to Jordan and Egypt if they refuse to accept displaced individuals from Gaza. And the proposal has been met with rejection from both countries, as well as other Arab nations who stress the importance of Gazan reconstruction and advocate for a 2-state solution based on 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as the Palestinian capital. The situation underscores the complex dynamics of Middle Eastern geopolitics and the challenges of addressing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. I wonder, and I may just do this, what Americans, right, will want us to own, operate, and occupy the Gaza Strip. And again, Egypt, Jordan, they have a lot of other powerful Middle Eastern countries that can support them, but we do give Jordan and Egypt, we do give them humanitarian aid. If you look at the foreign budget, Egypt and Jordan is on the list that they receive billions of dollars from America. Now, could they be somehow subsidized by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and other wealthy Middle Eastern nations? They could. And I believe that they should. I believe that their own kind should be supporting them. Like, I remember, and a lot of people like Elon Musk, because of what Malema, that's his name, Julius Malema. He's part of the EFF out of South Africa, which is a political party. And he was stating that it should be a United States of Africa, because he looks at the U.S. and look how powerful the U.S. is being united with all their different states. Like, you're going to have a unification of a hierarchy of a government like the federal government, but you're also going to have your, as I call them, mini presidents, aka governors. You're still going to govern your state however you want to do it. But when it comes to high-arching issues that is pertaining to the United States altogether, and especially a powerful continent like Africa, if they were united with all their resources, instead of letting China economically exploit them, I can understand the mindset behind that. And if we look at these other countries, if they did the same thing as well, that is why you have the United Kingdom, because they understand all these small countries together are more powerful than one country standing alone. So if we look at that, some of our American states are larger than some of the countries that we support. But again, if the Middle East, United States of the Middle East, I just know that countries are more powerful together. 2 brains is better than 1. So that is the way that I essentially look at that. And again, we should definitely be moving back from this altogether. Please let me know your thoughts on that. Thank you guys for joining me here in Blacklogic. The U.S. judicial branch serves as a check on executive power, but its authority relies heavily on the executive branch compliance with its rulings. When a president refuses to comply with a court order, the judiciary has limited direct enforcement capabilities, because in such scenarios, the legislative branch may intervene through measures such as impeachment or withholding funding. Additionally, public opinion can play a crucial role, as political pressure may compel the executives to adhere to judicial decisions. This delicate balance underscores the importance of respect for the rule of law within U.S. government separations of power. And this is just another ploy how a lot of the judicial branch is trying to slow down Donald Trump. Okay, they're trying to put some barriers, some brakes, some road guards in place to slow him down. And in some occasions, they're trying to stop him. And I really want to know how this unfolds, because what's under the blanket? What's under the political guise that they've been hiding behind for such a long time? Is there more fraud, waste, and abuse? Are there more evil doings in the government, and they have yet to let the public know? These are some of the things that I know a lot of us absolutely wants. Now, in a surprising development, a senior official with the Justice Department has directed federal prosecutors to dismiss the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. Look at that. A senior official within the Justice Department has directed federal prosecutors to dismiss the corruption cases. Now, this decision has sparked discussions about the influence of politics within the justice system and the criteria used to determine the pursuit of dismissals of charges against public officials. Now, I don't really look at this as a bad move when it comes to Mayor Eric Adams, because for a long time, roughly 3 years, he was sanctuary city. We're going to do right by the immigrants. And then when he saw Donald Trump was going to win, or when Donald Trump won, he was like, yeah, I need to change my stance. And matter of fact, Mayor Adams met with Donald Trump a couple of times already, if not 3 times. And I'm pretty sure he talked about his case. He talked about the situation around his case. And Donald Trump, like, if you do this with illegal immigrants and you help and support us to deport a lot of illegal immigrants inside of New York City, then I will absolutely help you with your criminal case. And look, and again, that's my conjecture. I don't know that to be true. Okay, that is me pontificating about this, the way I look at it. But now he's off. The Department of Justice came out and say, leave Herb Adams alone for now, in case he changed his stance. We're gonna keep him on the precipice of jail time. But for now, dismiss the charges, okay? But they dismiss the charges with prejudice, okay? With prejudice, meaning that they can revisit this whenever they want to. So they have on the cusp. They have Mayor Eric Adams on the cusp because they dismissed it with prejudice, not without. So again, we're going to continue to look at this because it's very important, because at any time they can charge him up again. They can definitely charge him up again. Now, let's get into some very powerful news here, because again, I want you guys to imagine watching 3D images that appear to float in midair without the need for special glasses. Now imagine our sister who made this possible is barely mentioned in mainstream tech history. I want you guys to meet Valerie Thomas, who is still alive, by the way, the tender age of 80-something. The brilliant NASA scientist and inventor who created the illusion transmitter, a revolutionary technology that laid the groundwork for modern 3D and holographic imaging. Her groundbreaking work in optics and space technology has influenced NASA satellite imaging systems, medical imaging advancements like X-rays, as well as MRIs. A lot of people familiar with MRI, but I don't know if you guys knew this. They actually use nuclear technology for the magnetic resonant imaging. Also 3D television and entertainment. But yet many inventors like herself remain largely unrecognized today. We celebrate Dr. Valerie Thomas, the woman who helped shape the future of 3D technology. Born in 1943 in Maryland, Valerie Thomas displayed a natural talent for math and science. However, like many Black girls of her time, she faced systematic barriers that try to keep her out of STEM fields. That's the science, technology, engineering, and math. But she refused to be limited. She studied physics at Morgan State University, one of the only 2 women in her class. She excelled in research and technology, earning a position at NASA after her graduation. She joined NASA in 1964 at a time when Black women were almost non-existent in the space industry. Now, despite racism and sexism in STEM, she rose through the ranks and became a leading scientist in space imaging and technology. While working at NASA, Thomas became fascinated with how concave mirrors could create optical illusions that look real. This led her to invent the illusion transmitter, which used concave mirrors to create life-like 3D images, produce images that could be seen in real space without needing a screen. She paved the way for holographic technology used in medicine, security, and entertainment. Valerie Thomas' invention has influenced many industries, including NASA space imaging systems, improving how satellites capture data. medical imaging, allowing doctors to see 3D projections of organs for surgery, holographic displays used in military and security application, 3D TVs and entertainment, enhancing how we watch movies and games. Thank you, sis, because I love a good movie. I love a good show. Her work is the foundation of modern holography, proving that a Black woman helped shape the future of 3D visualization. Despite her achievements, she faced a lack of recognition compared to her white male counterparts, limited opportunities in leadership roles due to racism and sexism, a technology industry that often erases Black women's contributions. But she didn't stop. She continued to mentor young Black scientists and showing that the next generation could break even more barriers. Led NASA's development of satellite technology, worked on projects that helped shape modern digital imaging. She mentored Black students in STEM, ensuring diversity in the future of science and technology. Honored by NASA and STEM organizations by her contributions to space and optics. Valerie Thomas is not just an inventor. She is a visionary who changed how we interact with 3D images and holographs. So the next time you see a 3D movie, use holographic technology, or even hear about satellite imaging, I want you guys to remember Dr. Valerie Thomas. Now, we're going to look at some of the text I have highlighted here for you guys can read it for your viewing pleasure. She graduated from Morgan State College with a physics major. If we come down a little bit in the green, a major requirement for her job was writing programs for computers. However, she had never seen a computer before in her life, except in science fiction movies. She decided to learn everything she could about computers inside and out, and she did it with the graduate school seminars, demonstration, and hands-on experience. That led to developing quick look processes in 1964 for the orbiting Geophysical Observatory, scientists to access the OGO data on the satellite to study the space environment before the first astronaut landed on the moon in 1970. In 1970, managing development of Landsat, the first Earth resources. And again, all these contributions here that we're looking at is very important for everyone to know of the advancements and technologies that a lot of people have contributed, not only to America, but to the world altogether. So today, this morning, we definitely celebrate our sister who, by the way, is still alive. I believe she's around 82 years of age nonetheless. But we thank her for her advancements in technology as far as imaging, 3D holograph, because again, a lot of us love the 4K, 8K imaging when it comes to the clarity and resolution of pixels when it comes to televisions, monitors, cell phones, you name it. Thank you, sister. We appreciate your contributions not only to the world, but to our kind altogether. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. I have some notes here. Give me 1 second. That's Laura's note says, does she have a channel or page? Not to my knowledge, but she has been inducted to a Hall of Fame Foundation here as well. She's on the NASA website. Okay. She's also on the NASA website here. This is landsat.gsfc.nasa.gov. And they also mark out a lot of her contributions to science and imagery as well. So again, if you guys don't know a lot about her, you should definitely check her out. Love of Coach Fitness and Nutrition. Let's see what he's stating here. My brother, Trump supporter, you had the dismissal with prejudice. Backwards with prejudice means that the case is over. Filing without prejudice means it could be filed again. Okay, thank you. I got it backwards. Thank you. But I'm not a Trump supporter. I want to make sure that I point that out. I don't support these political pundits, these political figures. What I do support is some of the legislation that Donald Trump, I do support some of the legislation that Donald Trump has passed. I supported some of the legislation that Joe Biden has proposed and some of the legislation that he has passed. Because I want you guys to think about this very, very neutrally. You can't, well, you could. Let me take a step back. You could. You can go hardcore right wing. You can go hardcore left wing. You can go hardcore conservative, hardcore liberal. But let me tell you, in my opinion, the best for the country lies right in the middle. And I'm not talking about the the independent political party. I'm talking about when it comes to legislation, black and white, what America is built on, the actual construction, where we're talking about the foundational documents, okay, besides the Constitution, but the bills and legislations that's passed. Okay, we can get a slew of them from the Republican Party, and we can get a slew of them from the Democratic Party. Half of those you're going to want to throw out. Half of those, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to throw out. If you throw out a lot of the rhetoric and the things that really doesn't support and help America, that maybe contribute to our national deficit, throw those things out. Okay, as well as a lot of the pork belly that may reside in a lot of Republican legislation, a lot of things that try to make America less diverse, so to speak, because America is diverse regardless if you like it or not. Even if you take out all illegal immigrants, America still will be diverse. There's millions of Hispanic Americans that have been American citizens for generations. Now, of course, Black Americans, we've been here on record since 1526. So you can just kind of eradicate the number of 1619 out of your mainframe, okay, out of your computer, out of your brain housing group, as we say in the military. You can eradicate that, replace that with the year 1526. And of course, if you don't believe that, please do your own research. But nonetheless, America has always been diverse, but some, not all, Republicans on the right-winged side wants to have America to have this depiction of lily white, and America has never been lily white, okay? America has never been that. So again, I look at legislation. I may support legislation from Donald Trump, support legislation from Joe Biden, support legislation from George Bush, support legislation from Barack Obama, but I have never agreed solely with one politician. Never. With not even one president. A lot of them have done some good and some a lot bad. Some have done a lot good and some bad. But again, the truth lies within the legislation, not within the person. That's the problem, okay? Some people believe that because you support legislation, you support the person. No. I'm looking at the benefit of America when it comes to the legislation that could or maybe pass, how that is going to help the country altogether. That is what I look at, okay? Jordan Wesley says illegal immigrants are 30 million in true numbers. Again, that's very subjective. As we looked at reports before, it stated that it was 13 million. There were some reports from Pew Research that stated that it was 11.7, but that was back in 2023. And I'm more inclined to believe the number of 13 million, 30 million. I don't know. I don't have any statistics or evidence to confirm that number, but it could be. I can't rule it out. It could be. But again, this is a must for America, even if I know this is hard. What I'm about to say is very difficult. It's a hard pill to swallow because there are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to tank because they hired a mass amount of illegal immigrants. It will be. And whose fault is that? But those American citizens are going to be hurting. They're going to be hurting because they have set themselves up for failure. They have literally set up an expiration date of their own demise by hiring illegal immigrants. And they should have never done that. Yeah, you can hire people on green card, permanent residents, people who are on work visas. American citizens should kind of been your first pick. Oh, well, American citizens don't want to do these type of jobs. Well, that's because you're only paying $5 to $8. If you look at some of the cost of living in some of these podunk towns out there by all the farmers and a lot of the fields that they're growing things in, the cost of living is still more than $5, $8 an hour. They're going to need at least $12 an hour. And they're doing back-breaking work. Yeah, you're going to have to pay Americans fair wage for fair work. You're not just going to pay us pennies on the dollar because we're not illegal to the country. And that is why they have been getting away with this. So that's why all these people come out, well, yeah, your onions are going to be up and your oranges are going to be skyrocketing. They're talking about fruit. They're talking about produce. They're talking about manufacturing, how all these prices are going to raise. Well, I think they're going to raise to the ceiling of the prices they should have been altogether. Because we should have never had massive amounts of illegal immigrants that the freaking Democrats have allowed. That the Democrats has allowed. And I'll say this too, to be very, very truthful, we have always had gaps Okay, we've always had gaps in our immigration laws in America. We either be a Democratic president or Republican president, any of them presidents could have sealed the deal when it comes to illegal immigration. They could have built the wall. They could have made very strict immigration laws or reinforced immigration laws and really closed the loopholes, but they didn't. Donald Trump, his first term, didn't do it. And to his point, he was a new politician. He didn't know that many people in Washington. He didn't have that many networking skills. He wasn't a politician. But now we can say it many times he's been not protesting, but campaigning for his second term here. He became a politician very quickly. And he started to foster deals even before he became, president number 47. So essentially, now that he's more astute when it comes to being a politician and understanding his presidential powers, especially I've been saying this for like the past 5 years, presidents can do so much more when it comes to executive orders. Yeah, there's some judges that can step in and try to stop it or slow it down. But essentially, a lot of them executive orders actually get passed and go through and become law to a certain degree. Or even for a temporary status. They have a lot of power in those executive orders. And it seems as though almost every day Donald Trump is coming out signing massive amount of executive orders so he can change the country altogether. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here this morning. I kind of went longer than what I should, but you guys chimed in. Thank you for chiming in. And also after this video, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to Blacklogic, please do so as well. Thank you again for joining me. This is Blacklogic.